Dun, 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 dun.
I've been a big fan of Bleecker Street for a while now. I mean, they made some excellent films. I think back to like Teen Spirit. I've seen that one. I covered it pretty extensively on this channel because I really saw good aspects to it from the marketing, and it was a really solid film. Probably not the I'd say it was a good release. It was very good. I think it was Ellie Fanning in that movie. I'm pretty sure she was the lead character. She did an excellent job, and plus they featured Annie Lennox. I love her music. Anyway, it's such a good release. But I've covered a lot of trailers from their studio, and a lot of these films are, and not everyone I've liked, but most of them have been very highly competent. And there's a bunch I still have to cover as well. But let's take a look at this new one today. The trailer actually came out very recently. This is called Mass. What's his name? Jason Isaacs. He's starring as well. I like him quite a bit. So this is what it says according to IMDb. Years after an unspeakable tragedy tore their lives apart, two sets of parents agree to talk privately in an attempt to move forward. In Fran Kranz's writing and directing debut, he thoughtfully examines their journey of grief, anger, and acceptance by coming face-to-face with the ones who have been left behind. Well, that sounds very interesting. Again, I'm not familiar with, I might be mispronouncing his name, but Fran Kranz. It might be Fran Kranz, I don't know. Fran Kranz, I'm not sure. But apparently, I guess he's maybe a known writer, but this is a directorial debut. Sounds fascinating, but it really does sound like a bit of an inspirational story of revitalization and healing amid tragedy, whatever that happens to be. Because they refer to it in the synopsis as an unspeakable tragedy. But I am aware, with Bleecker Street, I'm sure this will be a very high-quality film. Let's take a look and see. I'd like to get it. And maybe, they say Mass. Maybe they seek healing for the church. I mean, I know Mass it's a Catholic term. I'm not Catholic myself, so I mean, the knowledge of that and what that actually constitutes is really unfamiliar to me. But I think it's like their sort of like Sunday, sermon, right? Kind of like that, maybe not on Sunday. I'm not exactly sure how it works. Again, like I said, obviously, the fact that I'm not giving probably the best information in that regard, I'm not Catholic. So let's take a look. I'm Christian, but I'm not Catholic. Let's take a look and see how this trailer is, and maybe if I'm right, that is a church connection. We're going to watch this first. We're going to talk about it more. My condensed reviews after all parts of the video together. Okay, here we go. Nice to see Jason Isaacs in a lot. I haven't seen him in a lot of... I've seen him from time to time, but not recently. Yeah, I was right. Church.
Richard, Linda, this is Jay and Gail Perry.
Thank you for agreeing to meet us.
This feels like an indie film, just to a degree.
I'm going to leave you alone.
Not bad.
Let me know
Actually,
if you need anything.
it's quite good.
You say you want to heal. Is this how?
It's very
We're
soft
not here to
performances.
attack you, and we promise that. We want to know how this happened. We need your help with that.
I'm willing to help.
When you talk about blame on your part, I want to know what you're referring to.
It's very hard to answer.
Well, please try.
It's not just one thing.
Tell me about your son.
What would you like to know?
Everything. I want to know everything.
Why?
Why do I want to know about your son? Because he killed mine.
Yeah, wow.
It's not our fault, Richard.
Very performance heavy. And I think that's got potential. Like I said, it's hard to gauge. It's a very small look at the film, and maybe that is by design and intentional because the film has a smaller, contained feel. And I would imagine, like, if the film takes place in this church room, I mean, they have a couple of shots of the church in the exterior and the inside room. I don't know if there will be much more beyond that in terms of footage. Maybe they shot other places, but what if the film took maybe it'll feature flashbacks too. I don't know. And this could just be like an early days trailer. Did they give a release date? I don't think they did. No, they didn't. October. Okay, so maybe we'll get an trailer in September. Who knows? But that's it's coming out pretty quickly. But maybe it's contained by design. So really, what you're watching is sort of a relationship therapy session, right, with these different characters interacting. And it does interact. It's equal tragedy, so I guess one of their kids died, and the family blames the other one's son for enacting that. Again, maybe there's more to it, but you're going to watch this film with 4 performances. You can clearly tell they're intense. I mean, just Jason Isaacs' stare alone, that's very well done on his part. Just the face. I was like, yeah, like, obviously, like, okay, I don't want to be here. Maybe this is bringing up old wounds. At first, I'm sitting there thinking, like, is this unspeakable tragedy like marriage counseling? It's kind of what I thought at first, but when you're talking about the death of a child and maybe that they have a family their son to some degree is involved or directly involved. Yeah, that could bring up a lot of old wounds. But I would imagine, well, who knows if maybe this would be a situation where everybody just walks away. And they're like, you know what, we're going to agree to disagree. This therapy session ain't working, it's rap. And they say it's explosive. And you can certainly see that for Jason Isaac pounding, or does he pound the table or just does he scream? I think it's kind of both. But, yeah, he kind of does. But, I mean, it startles everybody. It's going to get pretty big. But I like these types of experiences that are very introspective, and especially ones that people have to talk out their differences or, tragedy that's happened to them. And maybe in some ways, this will resonate with other people who've been through that type of experience. Maybe some tears will get shed in the theater. I don't know. But I'm sure everybody's own experience will be very subjective in that regard. But it looks really well done. I mean, like I said, it's going to be... A lot of the duty here is going to fall back on the writing, unless there's more done outside of this room. But I would imagine with the directing, you can see some intentionality again in where the shots are placed, and maybe how some of the shots are angled, how long they are. Because maybe that stare from Jason Isaacs takes a little while in terms of the footage. And it does create the sensation like, oh, it's a very distressing conversation, obviously. But again, this film, if this is all that we're seeing, is going to fall mostly on the duty of the writing. And I would imagine, based on what I'm seeing, again, it's going to be a very human experience. And perhaps Fran Kranz, we'll see. Again, this is my first exposure, I guess. I didn't get a chance to look at his filmography, but I will. Maybe I've seen something he's done before. But for me, I believe this is the first exposure to his talent. So, I'll see. But Matt's looks very interesting. I like the fact it's placed in a church, too. Again, it's I think, a great atmosphere. For maybe discussing tragedy, especially since the church has been perceived in history, and maybe not always been faithful in that regard, but, well, I mean, I can't speak to the Catholic Church, I'm not exactly sure, but I would say, like, the Christian Church, from my experience, like, well, maybe it's not always been the best of healing places, but it's usually seen as that, and in some ways, and actually many times, it can be faithful in that regard, to provide a place for people to heal, and to seek refuge amid tragedy like this. What are your guys' thoughts with Mass? I think it looks very well done. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for Bleecker Street as a studio from a lot of the films that I've seen and that I've covered. They make very high quality entertainment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Don't forget what stuff with liking, subscribing, and sharing, and that bell. Until we get to watch more, maybe from Mass or from Bleecker Street or whatever trailer we get to watch for the first time on this channel, I'll see you guys then. But for now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my man. God bless. Peace.